Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Dax Carlisle, President of the Tarot Guild, founder of RainbowPsychics.com, with our tutorial on how to do a blog post. Okay, so here we are on RainbowPsychics.com, and the first thing you want to do is log in if you're not already logged in. And I'm going to go to my test profile again. And once again, we're in the back area of the website, the dashboard. Before we get to the blog post, I wanted to mention about comments here. You're not going to have to worry about the comment section at all. That's because on the site itself, the normal website blog comment is disabled. That's because we're using Facebook comments for increased sharing and exposure. I'll show you that real quick. If we go over to RainbowPsychics.com and go to the blog, here's a blog I did on the Affordable Care Act. It was a video that I found on YouTube that was a little crazy, and I had a lot to say about it. And actually, I'm going to use this as my example when I'm showing you how to make a blog post. But if we scroll all the way to the bottom, we have our sharing buttons. And by the way, after you're done, you've made all your renovations to your post and you're happy with it, that's the next step. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and more options. And you can post it to whatever social media that you use for additional exposure. Here's where the comments are. As you can see, the regular blog comment section is disabled, and we have a Facebook comment block, which whoever's on this page, it's going to show their Facebook if they're logged in like I am. And when I post on here, hopefully they'll leave this checked, and it'll also go on to the Facebook profile of whoever's making the comments, so we get even more exposure. And then the comments will also be listed down here below your blog post as well. Now, to do a new blog post, go up to New here in the bar at the top and click Post. If this bar is not showing up, that just means you're not signed in. So make sure you log in. You can also go over to the Post tab and click Add New. And here we are. We're ready. We have a blank slate. We're ready to go. We need to enter a title and so forth. And of course, you can start typing this all in. One thing that I like to do is I like to do it on a WordPress. On a WordPad or Notepad document. WordPad works the best. Of course, if you're on Mac, it'll be, whatever their version of this is. And I have the title, and I have the whole document already written out on here, so I can just copy and paste. And that way, if I make any mistakes over here, I can go back and re-copy and paste it in. This is also really helpful if you're reposting blog posts. You don't have to do double duty here, folks. You don't have to write a blog post on your personal blog and a different thing on Facebook and a different thing on the Rainbow Psychics. You can use the same blog posts in all those places. Just copy and paste. One of the problems, though, is that every system is different. And so if you're copying and pasting from, let's say, a blog that has a black background with white lettering, and you go to paste it into here, it could display it all as white on white and it wouldn't show up. Other formatting issues. So what I do is I copy it from wherever I'm taking it from, like my own personal blog someplace else, for instance, on another website, and I put it into a WordPad. And this removes like 90% of the formatting. On WordPad itself, I've noticed that you want to do double spacing. So as an example, okay, as you're typing and you hit enter, it's going to start a new line down here. But when I go and paste this in to make the blog post and I make it, it's going to mush all of the words together, all the lines. And so what I do is I do double spaces like this, and on WordPress it'll turn it into single spaces. So that's a little trick that we use here with the WordPad. But this is how you're the best way anyway to remove the formatting. The first time that you visit here, it's only going to show these controls. You want to go over here where it says show or hide the kitchen sink. That means everything else. So click on that and it's going to open up the full controls for you. Alrighty. So I'm going to copy my title. I'm going to paste the title in up here. And then I'm going to copy the body. It's not cooperating, but go all the way down here. You can do control copy. You can do right click copy. And then I'm going to put my cursor in here. I'm going to do control V to paste. And as you can see, it took the double spacing and made it single spacing over here. Okay. On longer posts, in addition to having the byline down here, I'm also going to put the byline up here. Okay. You might even put by in your name. And the reason why I do this is because I disabled the bylines that are automatically generated by the blogging system. Did this for a few reasons. One reason is it automatically puts in, for instance, your the date and time and all that kind of thing. To keep your blog posts looking relevant and new, fresher, don't put a date in. That's just my suggestion. I mean, there's certain things where you're going to want to put a date in anyway because it's time-sensitive material or what have you. But of course, you can talk about that in the body of the post itself and not necessarily put it in your byline. Okay. Now, one thing that happened after I put this title in and then the body of the post, as you can see, it generated a permalink. This is your URL address that you can put out that'll send people right to the post. But it's really, 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 really long. That's because it's taking the entire title and shoving it in here. So let's make this a little shorter. We're going to click Edit. And let's see, we'll call it just Beyond Creepy ACA, something like that. There we go. So now it's a much shorter link. It's got the date and the name of the post and rainbowpsychics.com basically. Alrighty, the next thing you want to do is you want to look at your post and see how you can spice it up a little bit, how you can make certain things stand out and so forth like that. First of all, I want to make my byline stand out. So I'm going to highlight that, and here is where I'm going to change the format of this particular line. It's actually, what it's really doing is basically resizing, but unlike other systems, this is designed for publishing. And so normal text appears as paragraph. That's why this says paragraph right here. When you click the down arrow, you're going to get the drop down menu, and you have various options, and the headings are the different sizes. This is how you're going to make the print bigger or smaller. Generally, I say the body, you want to leave it as paragraph. And then to highlight something, you can bold it like that. But if you go ahead and put a link in, the system's kind of hinky about that. It keeps links, www dots, unbolded, regardless of whether you bold it or not, unless you use these controls. So rather than bolding it, I'm going to go with a, let's see, heading 5. Now if I was doing the title, remember it automatically generates the title up here, and it's pretty damn big on this system. So you don't need to re-put in the title. You may do a subtitle, and I would do that maybe as heading 3 or 2 or 4, probably 3. But if you want to see what this looks like, you can hit the preview. The one thing about WordPress is that this visual editor is not exactly what you see is what you get. Until you actually go to the preview, you're not really seeing what it's going to look like. And I'm going to show you right now. We're going to go to the preview. It'll open up in a new tab. And as you can see, like I said, the title is really big. And you can see how my byline is also bigger here. Now by default, it makes this gray, and I could go into the code and fix that, but it's a lot of work and I just don't want to deal with it. So we're just going to leave it gray. I think it's fine. But you notice how these don't stand out from each other because of the same coloring. So I'm going to go, how can I fix that? Well, let's go back and let's change the color. You do that here, hit the down arrow. Yeah, we're going to pick a nice color, purple. Well, let's go with orange. I like orange. But notice how small this looks in the editor. Now when you go to preview, it's actually bigger. And as you can see, I've changed the color. Now the byline stands out from the title. Looks a lot better. Now I've got the same byline down here. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to change it to heading 5. Now to change, if you're already set in a color like this is right here, I can just click this, click the A, and it changes the color. If this is back as, let's see, as black, the normal default, you're going to have to hit the down arrow to change it to a different color. But that's just a quick little trick there, is you don't have to go through all this again and push this and push the color. You can just hit A and it's going to make the same color change. So now if we go back to preview, alrighty, so now it's down here as well. Now I might want them to think about going to my page on the website, so I'm going to go ahead and put in the URL for that, which is www.rainbowpsychics.com/DAX. I'm capitalizing the D to make it stand out. You can capitalize all of these letters. It doesn't matter whether these letters in a URL are capitalized or not. It still works. Now I want to link this. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to use Control-C. Or you can just do right-click, copy. I like Control-C, it's faster. So I'm going to go like that. I'm going to hit Control-C. And then up here is where you link. Hit the link button. I usually use the right arrow to jump over because it's highlighted when you first come here. Or you can just click in here because you want to keep the http:// and then I'm going to do Control-V to paste it in. You don't have to title it, but you can. I'll call it Dax's page. And then I'm going to check mark this box, open link in a new window or tab. That's always a good idea, so that they stay on this page. They can go back to the page more easily than having to use the back buttons and things like that, which may or may not work depending. Always better to open a new tab or window and then hit add link. Okay, now it's linked. Let's see what that looks like. We're going to go to our preview page and see it's linked here now. So when someone clicks on it, it's going to take them over to my information page. This is similar to the Mystic Insights one, Maria's page that you saw in the previous video. I've got my information, I've got my buy buttons on here, about me, how to contact me, things like that. Okay, so that's the whole idea why we're doing these posts. Yeah, it's fun, and we like putting information out and everything like that, but always keep in mind the ultimate goal. You know, you want posts that are going to be interesting to people, that are going to bring people to the website. So you take this link for this post, that's this one right here, and you write a little bit about, hey, I just wrote this cool blog post about blah 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 blah, and put in the link, and post it on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and what have you, because you want to get them coming back here to read. That way we get them onto the website, and from there hopefully they're going to check out the rest of the website. They're going to check out other people's blog posts, they're going to check out our psychics, they're going to check out the live psychics we've got on here, our radio shows, and so forth. We're creating traffic to the website is the main purpose for these posts, and that's why in your byline, and you can put another link down here, which I would highly suggest, you want to get them to go over to your page, read more about you, and hopefully buy a reading from you or one of your other products or services. That's the whole aim, folks, okay? Alrighty. Now these tabs here move you from visual to text, and when you do that, it reveals all the HTML code here. Let's see. See if there's anything we can play with right now. It looks good the way it is. Okay, if you get, if you know about HTML code and you want to get real fancy with things, you can, but it's not necessary. This system's very intuitive. Okay, so you're really going to love it. I mean, especially if you were posting before on the Ning site that we had. This is much more intuitive, makes things a lot easier to do. And I'm going to show you an example of that right now. What goes along with this post is a YouTube video that I found. In fact, the whole reason for the post is I'm commenting on this YouTube video that I found. And one of the nice features of this system is you can easily post any video real quickly. So here we are on YouTube, the original video, and I'm going to go to share, and it's going to bring up this URL. Usually it's already highlighted. I just highlighted it. I'm going to do Control-C to copy it, or you can do right-click copy, and then I'm going to go back over to my post, and you could put the video all the way at the bottom or in the middle somewhere or the top. The way I have this blog post written, it really belongs in the top. What you're going to do is you're going to put it on its own line. So I'm hitting enter, and I'm moving this down so there's a new line right here, and I'm going to do Control-V, and I'm going to paste this in. You may have noticed that it's keeping the formatting. I don't know if that'll actually affect YouTube, but you know what? I'm just going to go and put it back to paragraph. And that's all you have to do to embed video in these posts, is put the URL in, because like magic, it'll automatically generate a player. So let's go to the preview page and see that. So as you can see, it's already generated the video. Because I want them to hit here, I want them to watch the video, and then I want them to read the text after the video. Pretty cool, huh? It's going to make things really, really easy, especially if you have your own YouTube channel and you can just upload your videos right to there for your own personal videos, or you can just find, if you find a video that you want to use in a blog post, you can just grab it. Make sure it's on its own line. See how there's space between here, and the byline's on its own line. You also want this to be on its own line, and then it will generate a player like this. Now when you have a blog post that has a lot of text, it's good to break it up a little bit with some highlights. And you're going to use this button right here, the block quote. You're going to do a quote. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take something real quick. Here, let's just take this. Their assumption, young people are stupid. Okay, I'm going to Control-C. I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to put a little bit further down. Let's see, I'm going to do halfway. Again, I'm going to find it. I'm going to hit enter and make its own line. So I can post it on here in its own line. Now I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to hit the block quote, and I think I'm going to change the color. Let's make it purple. And lastly, I'm going to make it stand out, so I'm going to do heading 5. Now as you can see, once again, as I said before, the what you see is what you get is not what you get here in WordPress. So what you gotta do is go to your preview page, click preview, and so it's reloading this page actually. And by the way, you can always click off this if you want and have it open again. Okay, so what does that look like? Okay, so put a quote in here. Now let's look at it without the H5, without the heading 5. We're going to put it back at paragraph. The reason I'm going to do this is because actually just block quoting it is usually enough. And I'm going to show you why. Because what it does is it already bolds it a little bit, and it also italicizes it. See how it looks like italics here? Now if you want it to stand out a little more, another thing you could do is move it to the middle. You do that by clicking Align Center. See, now it popped to the center. Let's click Preview again. See what that looks like. Now it's in the center. Yeah, so with smaller quotes, or even with some longer ones, you might want to have it align in the center. You can also align to the right, align to the left, you know. Play with it, change the colors, see what looks the best. There's something else I'm going to do. I'm going to add a picture. Okay, we don't need this anymore. What I did was I took a screenshot image of this right here to use as an image. Why am I doing this? It already has the video in it. Well, because when you go to post this out on the web, on Google Plus, and to post it on YouTube and so forth, not YouTube, I'm sorry, Facebook and so forth, it's going to look for an image to put in. And if you have no image, like we don't, we just have the video, it won't grab this unless you put this URL in to Facebook. It's not going to grab this. Okay, so we need to insert a picture. Otherwise, what it does is it looks at the whole page. Remember, it's not looking at just the post. It's looking at the whole page, so it's looking for other pictures. So it's going to find this picture, it's going to find this picture, it's going to take the header and give you the option to pick from one of those. We don't want those. We want something that is from the blog post that makes the blog post stand out. So I'm going to insert an image. Normally, when I'm doing a post that has a video in it, I put the image all the way at the bottom because it's not necessary to the post itself. Once the person gets here, they're going to see the video, they're going to play the video, they're going to read the text. We don't need to put the image in like over here in the text. We can just stick it at the bottom. Now on other posts, you're going to want to put the image in at the top of the post. You know, the video won't be here, and that way they have something visual right off the bat. Let me see if I can find a post like that real quick. Here's Dusty White's appearance from today. So you see it at the top of the post. I've got a block quote in there, and I've got an image over here on the side. That way they have something visual right away. And when I take this URL up here and post it into Facebook, it's going to find this picture. It may not be the first one that shows up, but I can click the little arrow until I find this picture so that it shows it on Facebook. There's a lot of stuff you can put in here. I put in the code, for instance, for all of his books. Okay, so let's go back over here. So just for example, rather than sticking it all the way at the bottom, which the way I would do that is I would click on this line and bring it down to its own line here, and then I would hit I'm going to click on Add Media. This is where you can insert an image. Now you can select a file by clicking on Select Files and looking through your computer, or simply, if you have the image already on your desktop like I do, I'm just going to pull it over here, drop it in, and there we go. Okay, it's done loading now. And I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom over here. Don't worry about any of this right now. You really don't have to mess with that. I want to align it to the left, and usually, often with the, depending on the size of the image, you may get different options down here. A thumbnail version, a version, I can't remember what they call it, but a version in between, and then at the bottom will be the full size. Let's say this is a 600 by 400 image. It'll give you the full size 600 by 400, and then a medium size around 300 pixels, and then a thumbnail. I always choose the one in the middle. I always go for the 300. And then you click Insert in Post. And there's our picture. And if we go over to Preview, here's the picture at the bottom. Now when I take the URL for this post and put it in Facebook, Google, and so forth, it's going to find this picture. And it may be the very first one that comes up even. And that's what I want to show on Facebook or any of the other social media sites that I'm putting my blog post on. Okay, let's go back over here. Now, just to show you how you can do this on a different type of post, like I mentioned before, one that doesn't have a video, let's say. I'm going to click on the image, and I'm going to delete this right now. So now what you would do is put your cursor exactly where you want the image. It may be like, if this is the top of the post, you have the byline up here. I'm going to want the image to be right over here usually, sometimes on the left, usually on the right. You may have other images you may choose to put on its own separate line in the middle. Tell it to justify to the middle. I'm going to be showing you how to do that in a minute. or you might have a third video you're gonna a third picture you're gonna put down here on the left, for instance, while this one's on the right. But the topmost one I usually like to put on the right, and I'm gonna put it right there. So I put the cursor at the beginning of the line where I want it to end up over here, and I'm gonna hit Add Media, and like I did before, I'm gonna grab my picture and I'm gonna pull it over. Only I'm not gonna do that because I already did that. So I'm just going to click on the picture I want to insert, go all the way to the bottom, choose the 300. I want it to right justify now, so I'm going to put alignment right, and I'm going to insert it into the post. Boom, there it is, and it'll automatically do the word wrap. So let's look at the preview. Okay, so now we've got the picture up here. In a post like this where we have a video, obviously this doesn't make sense to have this down here. Stick it all the way at the bottom just so it appears when you're trying to post this to Facebook or what have you. But if I was doing a video without this up here, and this was the top of the post, now I've got my picture here. Now let's say I don't like it where it is, or I don't like the size of it. You don't want it to overwhelm. This is a decent size right here. Now, if I don't do anything with this picture, if somebody clicks on this, it's going to open up, you've probably seen this happen before, a full-size image. That's really unprofessional. I'm going to show you what you're supposed to do. Click on it. Here's the controls. Here's the edit image. Here's all your editing controls. Now, you may choose to use the image to link to some other URL or so forth, or you can click this button, None, and it takes the URL out. If you do want the image to take people somewhere, like you might link to your Rainbow Psychics profile, or maybe this is a part of an article that appears in its entirety over at your personal blog, for instance. You might want the link to that blog post in here. So just pop it in here, link URL, click Advanced Settings, go to the bottom, click where it says Target, open in New Window, and then click Update. Now when they click on it, it'll open a new window and take them over there. I chose None because I don't want the picture to do anything except be static, but I can change the size, as you can see, and you can see it changing over here. Let's drop it down to 70% and click Update. Okay, now it's smaller. Click Preview. Alright, now you see it's smaller. You don't like that? No problem. Go back over, click on it, click on Edit. Now it's going to have changed the percentage to the 100% is the new size. So you're going to need to go back up in size, up to 130%, which takes us back up to the original size. Don't like where it's at? Click on it, delete it. Let's put it down at the bottom where I was talking about before. Add image. The image you just added should be right there. I'm going to justify it to the left. Well, let's do center. We'll do center. Choose the size. You don't want thumbnail, too small. You want the full size or the 300 pixel. This one's only giving me one option. So see, now it's in the middle. Okay, so we're pretty good to go. We've got this all done. We've shortened the permalink. We've gone over to preview and made sure we like how it looks and everything like that. Okay, so what's left to do? Over here we need to categorize it. notice it's going to by default check uncategorized. So let's uncheck that and decide what category to put this in. This is an article about the Affordable Care Act. So right away that's going to tell me, okay, I'm going to put this in health. Health and fitness, there we go. Also, the Affordable Care Act is national news, so I'm going to put it in national news. That's all I need. I don't need to put it in 100 different categories. And you may, when you get into the more esoteric subjects in these posts, you may be tempted to do that, because you may say, well, you know, this post is about tarot, but tarot's divination, so I'm also going to click divination, and it's about there's a deck in there. I'm going to click deck reviews. I'm going to click oh, I talked about astrology. I'm going to click astrology, and well, it's spiritual, so I'm going to click spiritual, and it happened on the radio show, so I'm going to click radio. Okay, it's getting out of control at that point. All right, you want to limit it to 1, maybe 2, at the max 3 categories. Otherwise, the categories have no meaning, you see. Just because everything in the kitchen sink is in your article doesn't mean you should categorize it in every category. Okay, let's choose categories that make sense. I mean, it's national news, it's health and fitness. I'm going to stop there, and that's where I'm going to categorize it. Now, there's a lot of other categories. There's astrology. Obviously, book reviews go in book reviews, deck reviews in deck reviews. There's consciousness. Now, if I was doing an article on hypnosis, and I talk a lot about the subconscious mind, I might click hypnosis and consciousness. There's divination, which is, you know, all forms of divination. There's EFT, emotional freedom technique. There's entertainment, that's movies, books, music, stage plays, you name it. Entertainment. General website news is about the website itself. Usually you won't be needing to do that. If you have an LGBT article, you can put it under GLBTQ news. Members only. This is that one that I mentioned in the previous video. If you want a message to only go to members, and when I say members, I'm talking the paid members on the website, you know, not the thousands of members. You want it to just go to those specific people that are on the website. You would use this category, okay? Health and fitness, hypnosis and NLP, national news, numerology, pagan, psychic development. Radio shows is where we put things, the posts that relate to our radio shows, of course. Specials on readings, that's a category unto itself, where you're going to do posts where you are doing a short post just telling folks that you have a special on one of your products or services, okay? Spirituality, successful psychics, tarot, obviously, and the Tarot Guild. Now, if I have an article about tarot, I'm probably going to put it in Tarot Guild and tarot, because I want it to also go out to all of our members on anybody that drops by tarotguild.org or our Facebook, and world news. Now, if you have ideas for more categories, let me know, dax@rainbowpsychics.com. We certainly can add more categories. We can add subcategories and what have you. But I think this will get us started here. And the reason why there's so many categories, and why many of the categories don't relate directly to psychic phenomenon or spirituality, is we want articles that are going to be of interest to people and get them to come to the website. And that may not necessarily be an article about the latest tarot deck, which we would categorize under the Tarot Guild and tarot, because people that are interested in tarot are going to look at those categories. We might have something that's more general or of interest to more people, like oh, I don't know, the latest movie coming out this Friday. We might have a review of, or a comment about, or what have you. Maybe there's you could write an article and then put the trailer to the video in here, like we put the this YouTube video in. And you know, the more video you can use, the better. I'm going to say that. You definitely want to do video. But the idea is to put a lot of different content that's going to appeal to many, many different types of people and be of interest to a wide variety of people, and bring them to the website, and hopefully they will get interested in the rest of our offerings on the website. Also, about video, one easy way to make something into a video is to just every platform, whether it's Apple, Macintosh, a Mac, or a PC, nowadays they come with a movie creating program. You're going to have it on your system. You can create a movie very quickly and easily, and most computers even have built-in cameras, or you can buy one for $15 online or less. Make yourself, get into the habit of making videos. So I write this article. Well, all I have to do is turn on my video camera and read this article verbatim right into the camera. Boom. Now I've got a couple-minute video that I can put on YouTube, that you can send to me, and I can put on the Rainbow Psychics YouTube channel, and that you can embed very easily right here in your blog post. So start thinking video. You want to start turning all your blog posts into videos and including the video into the blog post, unless you're writing about something like I am here, where it was based on a video, so I already have a video to pop in there. Alrighty, so we've categorized it now. We know what categories it's going to go into. Now I'm going to start scrolling down here. You're going to find alrighty. This is the all-in-one SEO pack. This is what's going to optimize the search engine optimization for your blog posts so that more people can find it when they're searching on the web. And this is very, very easy. We have a title, we have a description, and we have keywords. That's all you got to worry about. So I'm going to go all the way to the top. I'm going to grab my title, Control C, copy, Control V, paste. Now what am I going to do for description? Well, the first paragraph's a pretty good description of it, so I'm just going to copy my first paragraph. I think you can go up to like 260 characters, or no, 160 characters. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in there, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to go down to 160 characters or less, and just do ... And then I'm going to look at well, what's this thing about? Okay, well, it's about the it's about Obamacare. It's about the Affordable Care Act. Right-wing wackos. Got OBGYN exam in here. You got Creepy Uncle Sam is the actual name of the video. So grab some keywords, and that's what you're going to put in here. A single word, like if it's about tarot, comma, you can just put on a line like that. If it's a two or more words, you're going to want to put it in quotes. So, quote, Creepy Uncle Sam, and then I'm going to put Affordable Care Act. So it's quote, unquote, comma, and then the next, and you might put your own name in there. Dax, unquote, comma. Oops. See, I'm typing too fast. I can't even type my own name. And that's basically how you put in your keywords. Okay, so now we've got our all-in-one SEO pack, our search engine optimization filled up. We've got our categories. And by the way, everything else on here, just disregard this. You're always going to use the default layout. This is for redirecting to somewhere else. You wouldn't do that with a post anyway. So just ignore all of that, folks. Okay. Preview one more time. Alrighty, looks really good. Okay, so we're ready to post this for good, and now we're going to hit publish. And if you click view post at the top or view post right here, it's going to take you right over to the post. And like I said, okay, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to share this on as many places as I can, or I'm going to take the URL and I'm going to post it. Let's whoops, over here on Facebook. I'm going to go, if it ever stops, I'm going to go to the Tarot Guild and I'm going to write something about the post. And so I'm going to move that down. I'm going to write something about the post. Found a great video, or whatever. And then I'm going to pick my picture with this button right here. Remember we added that image so that it would show up? There it is. So you use these buttons, go to the image for the post, and now when I click post, it's going to be boom. And then I can copy all of this, Control C, and I can go and post it on Rainbow Psychics as well, over here, like that. But always remember to go to the right picture. Okay. And that's it. That's how we do our blog posts. I'm going to click here on. And by the way, if you find any mistakes, you always proofread, and you can always hit the edit button, edit post at the top. Go to the post itself, hit edit post, and it'll bring you back here. And I don't know if it's not showing all the revisions, but usually it shows all the revisions if I revise it a lot down here as well. And you can make any changes to that. I'm trying to remember if I know I'm probably leaving something out. But this is a pretty good overview of how to do a blog post on WordPress. If I think of anything that I've missed, I'll add it in later. The main parts is making sure you put it in the right category, and let's see. I think that's about it. Okay. So if you have any questions, get a hold of me, dax@rainbowpsychics.com, if you're not sure how something works. Or find me on Facebook. That's even faster, Dax Carlisle on Facebook. And I'd be happy to answer your questions.